Hello everyone, my name is James and I'm bringing you your sermon in 5 minutes. Now, one thing we often forget about the story of David and Goliath is that David was not actually supposed to be fighting Goliath. You see, this was not his battle, but his older brother's battle. He was chosen to stay at home and look after the sheep with his father, while his older, stronger, more brave brothers were out there fighting the Philistines. But one day his father asked him to go out and check on his brothers and take them some food while he's out there. So he did what his father asked and he went out and checked on his brothers. While he was out there, instead of finding brave soldiers who were fighting the Philistines, he found scared and puzzled grown men. Now, they were puzzled because there was this giant who was coming out and challenging just one man to fight him. This man was a giant, he was a champion of the land from Gath, but all the men seemed to be scared of him. But what the men didn't know was that David has been used by God before. God has worked through David to fight off bears and lions and all sorts of animals to protect his sheep. You see, David had confidence in not his own ability, but in God's ability to work through him. So he started talking to some of the soldiers and saying how we should not be scared and we can defeat Goliath because we are the children of Israel. But what happened, some of King Saul's men, his followers, overheard David and confused his confidence for arrogance. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like David where you are dealing with a challenge well because you have peace with God and how God is going to work for you. And maybe some of your friends have criticized you for being too laid back and too arrogant. But David was not being arrogant. He was being confident because he knows what God can do through him. So the men went to Saul and Saul listened to his men and he asked for David to come to him. And when David came to King Saul, he said the same thing. I could defeat the giant because God is with me. So Saul said, what's the worst that can happen? So he decided to let David go off and fight Goliath, but he gave David his own armor and his own sword and started giving him advice on what to do. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where people have tried to put their own advice and own methodology on you. You know, you should drink this, or you should smoke this, or you should wear this. But what David did is say, I do not know how to use your armor. I am not familiar with it. What I'm familiar with is what God can do through me. So we can learn something from David. We have to learn how to say no to our friends and say yes to God. So David went towards Goliath, but he didn't just go towards him, he ran towards him. Sometimes we have to learn how to run towards our challenges. If we walk towards our challenges probably think that they're going to win. But we know we could run because God is on our side. Thank you very much.